Yo, what's up, everyone? Mr. Bruce Blitz. Were you really serious when you reevaluated the 2011 Eastern Conference Finals series of the Bulls versus the Heat and say that Erik Spoelstra outcoached Tom Thibodeau? Really? A small lineup adjustments, left, right, or not? I tell you what I think. I think it was more that Miami took the momentum advantage from the big night that Udonis Haslem had in Game 2, which caught us, the Bulls, off guard, and we never really recovered from that. And from that aspect, it really didn't have so much to do with good coaching of Erik Spoelstra, and also considering and witnessing the fact that LeBron James and Dwayne Wade played out of their minds in every of their following closing last quarter stretches in their wins, and just shut the hell out of our guy, Derrick Rose. What's up with that, Bruce? What happened to the usual passionate NBA coach and tactician and analyst? Did I miss something? Game 2 was practically a psychological crusher for the Bulls, which contributed to the hard-fought team system to break apart and make us vulnerable, affecting also Derrick Rose's style going into hero ball mode. And again, in my honest opinion, it didn't have anything to do with Spoelstra out coaching Tom Thibodeau, but rather the odds were against us, with Miami gaining momentum from Haslem's ambush and LeBron and Wade smelling blood. Just wait and see. Stay positive, Bruce. We're gonna make them pay and show them what real teamwork is in this coming season. Let's break it down in the first part of my 2011-2012 NBA season preview. The Dallas Mavericks, their championship, should give Dallas the option to keep at least one of their upcoming free agents, Tyson Chandler or JJ Barea. Whereas my gut feeling is telling me it would rather be Tyson Chandler. They need to keep their primary rebounder and defense presence here at least. I don't know where Karen Butler will end up in the offseason. According to the insiders and my buddy Bruce Blitz, he may be off. Dirk Nowitzki's finally got that monkey off his back. He should at least have 3 more years in the tank to get the chance for at least a repeat. If the main core of the team around him stays intact and they add more talent, obviously, Jason Kidd's abilities might look slightly critical due to his age. But Jason Terry should still be okay for another 2 years. Dallas's management did a great job last season to use that sleeper momentum to slip to the hard-earned NBA championship. And let's see what's gonna happen this season. Next, we're heading our talents to the South Beach and evaluate the Miami Heat. And on their to-do lists, very obviously, get rid of the old crappy players who can't run and jump anymore. There are at least 5 of them. Udonis Haslem is not going to make it any more than 1 more year. Ideally, Miami should try to get younger talents, but in my opinion, it is exactly that issue that can prove to be a mission almost impossible because Pat Riley already invested so much in getting 3 premier superstars together in one big parade. And moreover, except for maybe Mario Chalmers or Joel Anthony, nobody on this team really has got any trade value. And considering the new regulations by the NBA Presidential Committee, it will make things quite more challenging for Pat Riley to acquire the right guy or make a steal. Would Pat Riley, in worst case scenario, actually sacrifice Chris Bosh and reduce the team into a dynamic duo led by Dwayne Wade and LeBron James respectively as the undisputed leaders, and instead increase the chances to add up in trade value to get more useful veterans and fresher energy off the bench? In my opinion, that would be the only way to get other lucrative talents to South Beach who can serve for a longer term. Chris Bosh, in my opinion, is neither power forward or small forward because he's too skinny, but also not very quick on his feet, which is essential for either of those positions. In conclusion, I think that the investment in the big three was too rash and has sacrificed a lot in trade value and chances in the free agent market, resulting in keeping and shipping in too many washed up dogs to South Beach for the short term. The more it is surprising to me and my buddy Bruce Blitz and other hardcore Bulls fans how James and Wade were able to carry that kind of weak supporting cast so far to the NBA Finals and kicked our butts. I still kind of cannot get over it in a sense, due to the fact also, as Bruce Blitz mentioned in his show, Eric Spoelstra was outcoached again in the finals like a beginner. I don't think that their draft pick Norris Cole is going to see any significant playing time sooner, unless of course Pat Riley has a say in Eric Spoelstra's coaching regimes. But again, I would be wrong. I could be wrong. You never know what Pat Riley may have up his sleeves. Miami should consider trading Bosh while they still can, and while he still has some trade value and appropriate young age. Other than that, a point guard. Other than a point guard, they need a real rebounder in the starting lineup who can free up some space for the perimeter threats LeBron and Wade. Bosh didn't do a lot of that. That leads me directly to the Chicago Bulls, who still have a heck of a chance to mature into a real contender. Getting rid of Carlos Boozer is gonna be very difficult, because the free agency market will be highly competitive as usual. Derrick Rose has to learn to keep his cool in pressure situations and work on his game. And he should keep his cool in pressure situation instead of going into hero ball mode in a desperate situation, as it was exposed in this year's Eastern Conference Finals in particular. Tom Thibodeau will make sure of that. Shooting guard is what we need, yes indeed, but in my opinion, we need another wing player on the small forward position who can stretch the floor on both ends of the floor. And in that aspect, I would like to ask Bruce Blitz, would you be willing to trade Luol Deng or not? As good as his defense is, he cannot stop LeBron James entirely due to the lesser deficits in athleticism, especially on the offensive end. Because LeBron James is an equal good defender. A wing player would be really ideal for the Bulls, so it can take another burden off Derrick Rose and give him a chance to display his playmaker ability and give him the opportunity to pass more in the open court. What would it take to get this kind of player? A Luol Deng, a Taj Gibson, Carlos Boozer. Is the trade value in our team competitive enough to get either of our needs, shooting guard or wing player, fulfilled? Next up in Beantown, will the Boston Celtics have a slim chance for a comeback? Unless and especially if Rajon Rondo can improve his all-around mid-range game. The team gets some younger talent, and the big three still have one more huge fuel punch in their tank left. Why can they not? With the tactical brilliance of Doc Rivers, impossible is nothing. Jeff Green, when they keep him and utilize his talent, will be a big beneficiary for the big three. Oklahoma City Thunder is one of my dark horses for this season. The duo of Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook still has rooms for improvement. The general team attitude has a chance to mature even more, and adding more toughness off the bench can add more thrashes into the Thunder of OKC. Closing words to Mr. Bruce Blitz of in part 1 of my preseason video series. You should actually be happy that there is such a biatch as ESPN and Skip Bayless, because without them, your show wouldn't even exist, or let's say you wouldn't have had any motivation to start rebelling against the sports mass media propaganda in the first place, and you wouldn't have any fans, including me. ESPN bullcrap, Skip Bayless, Mark Jackson, Chris Molan, or not, or any Hempel man in the sports media, you are still the one that inspires me the most to take a huge step forward and question the issues that the majority of what the average sports fan base takes for granted upon watching those sports media channel giants. Dankeschön, Mr. Bruce Blitz. Wir sehen uns wieder in my next video.